Welcome to the Notary Podcast hosted by me, Daniel C. Lewis, and you're not going to want to miss this episode. We're going to have a very special guest, so get ready, cue the music. Welcome back to the Notary Podcast hosted by me, Daniel C. Lewis. And if you like this podcast, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. Today, we have a very special guest. We have a professional notary entrepreneur, Angela Johnson, with AJ Notary Training. Welcome to the podcast, Angela.
Thank you so much, Daniel. It's my privilege to be here.
I'm so happy to have you here. And we talked a little bit before the podcast. You're near Atlanta, Georgia. You're in the Georgia state of Georgia.
Yes, North Atlanta.
North Atlanta. So for our listeners, Georgia's an attorney state, but for our listeners, since you do this and you have a very thriving business, what did you do? How did you get into this business? And you did tell me you started off in California, but how did you get into this business?
So in just a brief summary, in 2018, I lost my husband. And so in 2019, October, I left my job. And so COVID hit in 2020 and the notary business was very busy. And so I decided, to give me something to do. I've had plenty of businesses in the past. I said, I'm very familiar with notary. I know the ins and outs. I'll just start a notary business. So it was very easy for me. I was already a notary. Really, all I had to do was create a Google page and start marketing my business. And so that's how AJ Mobile Notary got started.
Oh, okay. Very, very good. So, and you do some training there also. Can you tell us a little bit about your training for notaries?
Yeah, so I provide notary training, loan signing, and also apostilles. And it's really a very simple, I call it notary simplified or loan signing simplified, because people really want to know a simple way to do things because it could be confusing, the notary business. So if you give it to them clear and simple, then it makes it easier for them to start the business and also to be correct when they do the notary jobs.
Who would you say is your ideal customer for your notary business?
So my ideal customer would be somebody who calls me and say, I need a notary. Are you available? They give me a date and a time. I go to them and notarize their documents. They don't ask like a lot of questions as far as trying to make sure that I know what I'm doing. I go in asking questions of them, making sure they have their ID, asking them about the documents. So when I go into my customer, I'm confident to the point where they know I know what I'm doing. And so these customers trust me. And so once they trust me, they keep calling me back. That's my ideal customer.
How would you say, because a lot of people in Georgia, they get, if you look up notary on the internet, they look up some notary signing agent. And I know in Georgia, it's an attorney state. How would you go about, what advice would you give new notaries that's trying to start off in the business? Would you tell them, start off as a notary signing agent? Would you tell them about general notary work? What advice would you give new notaries?
I definitely would tell them to start off as a general notary, because if you don't know how to notarize documents correctly, you're going to flop in the loan signing area. I also tell them, don't get caught up in the name notary signing agent or loan signing agent. In Georgia, it's just a notary. Sure, you go to California, different states, they have the title loan signing or notary signing agent. So people get caught up with I want to be a notary signing agent, I want to be a loan signing agent. And you go to the Georgia authorities, they say, we don't have that. You're a notary. The bottom line is that you're a notary. And so I teach them first, focus on being a great notary, because if you're a great notary, the loan signing will come easy. And once you learn the loan signing part, it just clicks.
Yeah. You sound like a person that has a vast business knowledge on how to connect with your customer. What services or what problems do you fix for your customers? Because if you're in the notary is a business service, and
It
you're
is.
fixing problems for them. What problems would you say you fix for your customers?
So sometimes with notary, I make sure that I do it properly.
Yeah.
Because you probably have experienced this too, Daniel. I have had so many customers that will say, well, this is my second time getting this notarized or my third time getting it
Yeah.
notarized. And I tell them, I said, you won't have that problem with me. So when they ask, I'll ask a few questions as to what happened. And then when I'm talking to them and going through their documents, they'll say, well, this person never did this, or this person never asked me this question.
Yeah.
So I see from the beginning, when I start talking to the customer, they can see the differences in the way that I'm conducting the business and the way somebody else did it.
As a notary entrepreneur, what do you think is some tools that you can use to market your business? What have you used that was successful in marketing? Like a CRM system, intake form? What tools did you use?
So as far as marketing, Google marketing, I tell anybody, if you don't have a Google page, you don't have a business. And one thing that I did do, but you have to be very careful with this tool.
Yeah.
I did do ads with Google in the beginning, but Google can run your pocket up.
Yeah.
So you have to know how to do it. You have to know how many clicks you want them to click. You have to know how much money you want to spend per day or per week. So Google is an amazing tool to start your business. I would advise anybody to do that Google ad because it worked for me. I did it for a couple of months, but you have to be very careful about spending the money because you can spend thousands of dollars out of your pocket. So that's one avenue I use. I also use car magnets. Car magnets work like amazing.
Oh, really?
I've had people flag me down on the street. Just yesterday, I was at the bank, came out of the bank, sitting in my car, and a girl knocked on the window, said, "You're a notary. Can I you notarize this document because the bank won't do it?"
Yeah.
And Daniel, I talk to people everywhere I go.
Yeah.
Everywhere I go, I talk to people. I give them my card. I ask them what they do. So I really feel that that's what has made my business as successful as it is.
Very good. Do you use any AI tools?
I just recently started using AI because of my daughter. My daughter is a content creator. Like I said, she's rebranding everything for me, but AI is so amazing because, and then I saw Vanessa Terry's thing that she did on AI, and that's what really made me like, I got to get more into it. It really makes your job easy. You don't have to really do anything. You go to AI, they spell everything out for you. And if you work it the way they say it on AI, it works.
Yeah, absolutely. What are common pricing mistakes you see that notaries make when they're pricing their business, you think?
I think sometimes new notaries think if I just charge $10, $15, $20, or if I lowball it, I could get more business. And so I think because they don't take training, that they don't price properly, and then that makes people think that other notaries who are charging a pricing properly, that they're charging too much.
Yeah.
And then their business doesn't thrive because they can't make, money with not charging the proper fee for their notary business. And they don't take into consideration, I have to use my gas, I have to use my time, I have to use my paper.
Yeah.
All of that you have to consider. So when they're lowballing, charging low fees, then they're hurting themselves because they're not making any money because the cost that they're charging, they're just paying for their gas and their paper.
So you have to consider all those factors when you're pricing your fees. Yeah. How do you, as a notary that deal with apostilles and some real estate, how do you do you have any special tips you can give us on how to protect people's privacy?
So one thing, you have people, notaries that call you and ask you, can you shadow?
Yeah.
No, I said, because of privacy policies, I don't do that. People email me their documents, and especially the direct companies, you have to make sure that you completely delete that from your computer.
Yeah.
When you're taking photos with your phone, when you go do loan signings. Once I put that document in FedEx or UPS, you have to make sure you delete those things from your phone. It's a matter of just protecting the privacy by deleting information and not allowing other people, like nobody uses my computer that I use for my notary business.
Yeah, yeah.
You cannot let people, family, friends borrow your computer, even your phone. Because if you think about it, if you're taking pictures of people's ID, if you're scanning with cam scanner or whatever scanning device you're using to to send documents back. You can't allow people, I don't think people think about that. You can't allow other people to use your phone, to lay your phone down. I make sure that my car is locked. And if I have my laptop, I would put it like under my seat, like it's not there. So you really have to protect people's privacy.
So true, so true. So many people don't realize that. Yeah, because I have children and grandchildren, and when they come over, they can't use, because I got a couple of laptops that I have. I have a special one for them when they come.
Right.
Yeah, you can't have them on your phone and your laptop because it could have sensitive information. That's so true. I'm glad you brought that up. If you were to, because you told me you've been a notary for how many years?
Over 32 years.
32 years. What would you tell yourself if you could go back in time and tell yourself when you first started being a notary entrepreneur? What advice would you give yourself?
I would have told myself, don't laugh at this, to quit that job at the law firm in California and be a notary, a loan signing agent in California, and stay there because I love California. It just came from there. So that's what I would have told my younger self, is to quit this attorney job and become a loan signing agent and a mobile notary in California. That's what I would have told my younger self.
Now let's even go the opposite direction. Let's say you're going and you can talk to yourself a year from now in the future. What would you tell yourself, the future Angela?
I would tell the future Angela that if I look back, I would tell the future Angela, look forward to the future Angela that one of the best decisions that I made in this business is to be balanced, not feel that every job that comes along that I have to take it, because I still need to have life balance. Being a mobile notary, even though you have your own business, it is so easy, Daniel, to get caught up in the money aspect because you can make a lot of money. And everybody that calls me, I do not accept the notary job. So I would tell myself in the future that that was one of the best decisions I made, was to have a good balance with work and life and being an entrepreneur.
Yeah. Speaking of that, because you said you had your daughters helping you with that. How do you balance your work-life balance? Because a lot of people have challenges with that as an entrepreneur. How do you handle that? What tips can you give us on that?
It was very hard to figure it out, but I've been doing this, actually the notary business, for going on 7 years, or 6 years going on 7 years. So what I had to realize is that you have to carve out some time to say, I'm not working. And so I'm very grateful that I have a great relationship with my direct clients that call me. If they call me, like Wednesdays, it's a day that I prefer not to work.
Yeah.
And I will have to admit that it's not possible not to work because somebody will call you.
Yeah.
So what I do in that case, my direct client companies that call me, I ask, if they say, can you go through this loan signing of this date? I said, well, is it possible that I can do it tomorrow, or I can do it this evening? Like if they call me, they always tell me, call the customer and work it out with them. I'm so grateful for that. But Daniel, I'm only able to do that because I've been a great loan signing agent and the company trusts me.
Yeah.
If I have just a general person call me from Google, I'll ask them, does it have to be done today? And if they say yes, I'll do it. But most of the time, if you know how to talk to people and you can give them a time the day before, or if I can say, I can come now, which would be the day that I don't have off, most of them are agreeable. So I try to work it out, because on Wednesdays, I need time for Angela. I need time to clean. I need time to do some Bible reading. I need time to take care of myself spiritually, emotionally, and just do nothing sometimes.
If there's one book, course, or mentor that was meaningful for you as a business owner, what would that be?
I'm not trying to be conceited or nothing, but that would be me. Because I really taught myself, like, the notary business was a no-brainer for me, because I had already been a notary, number one. And number two, I have had other businesses. I had a thriving customer service business before the notary business, but unfortunately, I had to let that go when my husband got sick, because I was a full-time caregiver. And even in California, you remember mailboxes, etc. I'm giving my age away. So I used to be the mailboxes, etc. I was in there one day. Somebody came and said, I need a resume. Can you do a resume, to the guy that owned it? He said, I don't do resumes. I said, I can do a resume. I had a resume service when I was 21 years old through mailboxes, etc. They would call me anytime somebody needed to reserve and connect us together. And so I've had a business since I was like 22 years old, 21, 22 years old. I've always had a side hustle, but this is the second like business I've had. So I always try to keep the work-life balance and just, you know.
Any books that you written, any courses or any events that you're going to have that's coming up that you want to promote?
Yes, actually. So like I said, my daughter is rebranding my whole business, and I'm really grateful for her to that. Some advice I would give somebody, even with your notary business, make sure your brand is on point, because I'm putting it all out there. My daughter said, your brand is all over the place. She told me, she said, I need to fix it. And so with that being said, I have actually 3 books that will be out November the 1st on Amazon.
Oh, very good. What are those?
Notary Simplified, Loan Signing Simplified, and Apostille Simplified. My proofreader is completing them now. November 1st, they'll be on Amazon. And I also have courses, same thing, notary, loan signing, and apostilles. And they can AJA_mobile_notary on IG. And I have a TikTok, it's AJ Notary Chronicles, where I chronicle my things that I do during the day, during my loan signing and the mobile notary business, problems that I incur, good and bad things that happen. I put all of that on TikTok just to relate to people what's going on and how I fix problems and things like that.
Okay, what's your handle on TikTok?
It's AJA_notary_chronicles. So I chronicle my day-to-day notary business. And like I mentioned to you earlier before, I've been not doing a lot of that because of the accident I had, and I'm just really getting back into, my business.
Let's go into some really quick fun facts for AJ Johnson or Angela Johnson. Your notary day. Fun fact. Do you take tea or coffee when you start your notary day?
Oh, definitely tea.
Tea, okay. What's the best snack? If you're running around doing a bunch of notary jobs, what's the best snack that you would recommend for people?
Kind of a health nut. I take walnuts and almonds, and I take fruit all times. At all times, I take my snacks. I have a lunch bag. I pack my snacks. If it's a long day, that's what I have in my nuts, and fruit is what I have in my snack bag.
What app do you use mostly for your notary business?
The app that I use the most, I'm old school. I have a spreadsheet. I have an Excel spreadsheet, and I put everything in my Excel spreadsheet that calculates it automatically. The end of the month, everything is there, and that's what I use. Okay. I used to use Notary Gadget. It's a great app, but I just prefer the Excel spreadsheet.
Very, very good. And what do you think is the most misunderstood thing about this notary business that people don't understand?
I think the most misunderstood thing is that they don't know how important this job is. They don't know how important the notary, that service is. And they don't know that it really takes diligence and efficiency in this business. They think you just stamp and sign. It's more than that. And I think people don't understand that the notary business is very important.
Oh, thank you so much. Any final words that you have?
Just that this is like my baby. Notary, if anybody wants to be an entrepreneur, if they want a side hustle or a full-time business, the notary business is it, because I'm a people person, especially if you love people. It's the business to have. And it's easy to get into. I just recommend any person, whether it's from me or somebody else, please be trained, because if you're not trained, you can mess up somebody's important documents, and you can just screw up your whole business, because you don't want to get blacklisted by a company. You don't want to get sued by a person for not doing, the notaries correctly. So being knowledgeable about the business is very important.
Thank you so much for just taking your time out and coming on the podcast. I know a lot of people will love hearing your take on this notary business. You've been such a great guest. I got to have you back on here. I'm glad we was able to talk, because I think this is the first time we ever talked on one, definitely. And I'm so happy to have you. You're a great guest.
Yes, I really enjoyed it. I appreciate you inviting me.
Oh, no problem. We got to get you back on here. Now, if you like this podcast, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to this podcast. I make sure I have your information on here that people can reach out to you, talk to you about your notary training. So that'll be great. So definitely, if you like this podcast, like, share, subscribe to the podcast, and hopefully I'll see everybody again next week. AJ, we'll have you back again. Say bye to the audience.
Bye, you guys. Thank you so much, Daniel.
All right. Thank you.